What's up? How you doing? It's Jared. It's a Microtech Tachyon 3 Venom. The actual designation there, because it's not Venom VM, so it's the 173-1VM. And check out that serial number 69. How dope is that? I don't think Exacto makes videos here on YouTube anymore, but if he did, I know he'd get a kick out of that. Number 69. And this is definitely a sick knife, but it doesn't quite, I mean, I've got some gripes with the design as far as the coloring, because Venom is black, right? Venom doesn't, the character himself, you know what I mean, the Spider-Man villain doesn't actually have any purple or blue, you know, on his color, you know, on his actual suit. And you notice here, these are not black handles. I think it's an attempt at black, but it's just not quite there. You know what I mean? They just use a really, really dark blue for a pseudo black, but you can see opposed for the actual black of the blade there that is actually black. The handles are kind of a purplish color, which for me, I love. I got kind of excited, you know what I mean? I saw that and I was like, oh, yeah, this thing is freaking purple and black. It's like really dark purple, black and white. I mean, that's cooler than if it was just black and white, honestly, because the reason I bought it, I'll get into in a minute, was just completely wrong. So, you know, I do really like the fact that they're purple, but it doesn't fit the name or, you know, the designation what this thing is at all. It's definitely a sick knife. I mean, it's same up to par, same thing with my other Tachyon, the Stormtrooper model I've got. The only problem that I can actually come up with on here, so in this open position here, look at that tang pin. You see that? It came out of the box like that. It hasn't moved on me. Honestly, I haven't flipped this thing a whole lot. I don't intend to. I've got my Stormtrooper if I ever actually want to flip anything, you know, flip a Tachyon too heavy. But look at that. That's ridiculous. I mean, if I flip this really hardcore, I would expect that thing to fall out almost immediately. That's ridiculous that the quality control from Microtech would actually let that come out of the box. The other side is not, the other side's where it should be. You know what I mean? That's just about even. You can see the little crown there that they actually push it down. You can see there's a little ridge on that side and there isn't on this side because that little pin is tapered. And so you can see that it's sitting flush, opposed from the other side here, and you can see how much it's protruding, how much that little crown is actually sticking out. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. There could have been a piece of material. It could have, you know, not been clean, so it didn't get forced in properly. It may be oversized. The hole might not be big enough. You know, there's a whole lot of reasons that it could be the way it is. But the fact of the matter is it never should have made it off the line like that. I don't know if I'm going to send it back into Microtech, but honestly, I might. Because that's not something I want to mess with. I don't want to go pounding that thing in there. If there is a piece of debris stuck in there, I don't want to go pounding it down to reseat it. And I also don't want to unseat it because that's going to completely void my warranty. So if I'm going to do anything about that, I'm going to send it back into Microtech. But I don't know if I'm going to do that one entirely. It's just a beautiful knife, isn't it? This is definitely a dope coloring pattern for this knife, for the Microtech Tachyon series. I'm not normally the biggest fan of a black blade. I definitely am a fan of the white blade on this. This is a Tachyon Stormtrooper here. You can see these pins are, both of these pins, the open and stop, sitting right where they should be. The reason I bought it, I'll get into that. The guy at the store had the idea because he knew that I bought this one, right? He's, you know, got the idea. This is the opposite of the Venom here, right? It's the color opposite. And I was like, yes, it is. But what I didn't take into consideration here is there's no black in these sections here. These diamond sections on here, if there was, you know, if this was black, then it would be opposite. But there's not. This is just, they're white handles with that. And so the actual reason I picked this up, because I thought it would be in direct contrast with the Stormtrooper model here, I was just wrong, you know? It's not. So when I found out that, you know, when I noticed the fact that these handles are actually purple, I was, that kind of, you know, made up for it. It pleased me, you know? I'm definitely satisfied with it. I don't know whether to call that purple or blue or what, but definitely looks good. I think it's cool. I've actually got my entire balisong collection here, so I'll do an update on that while I'm at it. This is, yeah, obviously Microtech tachyons. This is a little Nathan Dewey custom gremlin. G10 handles, 440C blade. It's just a cool little knife. It's not anything great, but it's definitely pretty cool. This is a Frankensong, California legal balisong. I took the handles, well, I took the blade off of this handle set here, which was originally the comb. So I swapped the blade on these two handle sets because the tang pin and the pivots are actually the exact same. It's the same measurement, so I was actually able to do that. I think there's probably some standard on these CCCs, standard pattern that they all use to mill out the different spaces between the holes and everything. This is another cheaper knife, cheap CCC. It's definitely got some handle play issues going on there, but I've beat that thing up. I've dropped it on the ground a few times. I mean, I haven't beat it up nearly as hard as something like this B450 right here, but this actually just got replaced in my carry, my EDC, by this. So Boker Plus trainer. That's a Barops B400 trainer. I don't know if I mentioned that one. There's a Barops B200. I just love that blade shape. There's something about that clip point. The way that it flares out, it's like a scimitar. It's got that that is just so dope. I'd like something like that on a bigger fixed blade knife. And this is a B450, Barops B450. It's the smaller version of the B400 series. Under the Benchmades, here's a Benchmade 32, which I never really do anything with. I like this knife. I just never, I don't pull it out to flip it. I don't generally carry a balisong EDC. So I don't, that knife just never really does anything, but I definitely like it. This is a 51, Benchmade 51 1601. It's a Blade HQ exclusive. Look at that stonewash. I freaking love it. Those handle scales, just bright, happy green. Yeah, this knife just puts a smile on my face. It was a good decision that they decided to come out with those, I think. It's another Benchmade 51. This is half Flytanium. It's got a Flytanium scale on opposing sides, and you can see the normal finish opposed to this stonewash finish. That's what I'm talking about. This is kind of a, it's a very light stonewash over top of grinder satin. And then this is just that, deep, heavy stonewash Benchmade does on a lot of their limited edition knives. Benchmade 63. And get it in frame. This is probably my favorite knife out of all of them. If I could take one of them, and some people will probably hate that statement because it's not the best flipper, and I'm never going to claim that it is, but it's just, there's something about that knife that I just love. This is a Benchmade 87. Big old beast. I can barely fit it on you. Look at that. Channel constructed, titanium. Yeah, I've heard it called the 87 Ti, 87 balisong, Benchmade 87. Bah. That's it. That's ridiculous. I never made the conscious decision to become a balisong collector, but it's kind of slipped its way into that realm, I think. That's it. Y'all have a good one.